Hi, welcome to Gearwire.com. We're taking a look at the flip tube power delay. This is a Tokyo Sound product, the TD-X Tube Echo. But here in the US, they're distributed by Guyatone. So let's take a look at what's inside of the box. Well, it's always nice to see that it comes with an adapter. And this one, let's see, output is 12 volts DC, 200 milliamps. And also the center is negative. Let's take a look. Actually, here's the pedal, so that came out first. Let's take a look at the documentation that we get. All right, this is just safety precaution, nothing here that's really that interesting, but definitely want to read it if you're not used to using stuff like this. Registration, send that into Godlike. And here we see the owner's manual. Right here you can see it's hybrid digital analog delay. So it's a digital delay circuit, it seems, with some sort of tube preamp built in, custom designed filter. Let's see, there's a warm organic tube tone, so it's a 12AX7 built inside. You can get delay from 20 milliseconds up to 2600 milliseconds, so 2.6 seconds long. It's a pretty nice long delay. True bypass switch. So there's all sorts of helpful information in here. If we take a look at the pedal, there's a good amount of knobs on here. Right over here, we see the vents for the tube, so you can actually see the tube. Here's our true bypass switch. We have a few different jacks on the top. First one over here is mix. This is what you would use if you're just using one input, one output. We also have a dry output if you needed the signal, if you wanted to mix the signal out to some other amp or to the PA, depending on what type of instrument you're using. There is our AC or DC input and our input, quarter-inch input. Over on the top, back on the top, we see the mix effect. This will control how much of the reverb is going to our mix output. We also have the feedback knob that controls how many echoes there are. Our delay knob, which will control the time between each delay, or between the dry signal and the delay signal. Right here we have a tiny little switch. This also has to do with delay time. We have the short delay time, so we're very short here, and we're still pretty short when it's turned all the way up, but to get any longer we need to go to the medium, and to get longer than that we need to go to the long delay setting. Down here we get our saturation control. Both these knobs act kind of differently, and we can check out and see what they actually do when we plug the pedal in and it's ready to go. So that's the hybrid tube power flip tube echo out of the box. All right, we got our flip tube echo plugged in and ready to go. I'm playing the Epiphone double neck SG, and we're playing into the Fender Princeton recording amp. The recording out of that is going into the recorder. It's what you're hearing. Probably the best way for us to get a sound on a tape that's not biased in any way by mic placement or anything like that. So let's take a listen to our sound just clean without any of the pedal in it. And so we have most of the knobs, I'm going to turn all the knobs up to midnight. And the switch here is set to the S, that's the shortest delay setting, so the time will be more of a slapback delay type thing. So I'm going to bring the pedal in. And one thing to keep in mind is when you power up this pedal for the first 20 seconds or so, maybe longer, you're not going to hear anything because it's a tube that's warming up inside. So let's hear what our sound is like on the short setting, and all the knobs turn up to midnight. First thing, our mix effect is a little bit high, so I'm going to turn it more towards the dry side. In certain settings you may just want to, if you have 2 amps or if you're recording anything, and multiple inputs, you can take the dry signal out of here, but we're just using the mix output. So this is our knob, money knob right now. Okay, so one thing we can do is we can add more feedback to actually make it go pretty crazy. That sounds a little bit like a spring reverb. We turn it down, it'll be more of a subtle effect. We probably get away with turning on a little bit of our, turn up a little bit of our wet signal. Kind of sounds like an early reflection in a reverb. Let's turn down our time all the way, see what happens. What we're actually getting, and we can get with this with most delay pedals, is sort of a comb filtering effect. We turn it off. Now if we were to modulate the time setting on this just slightly, we would get like a chorus effect. So let's turn this time up, see what we get. Still pretty much just a slap back even at the highest setting. While we're here, let's check out the analog simulation or tape knobs over here. I think these knobs, they work together. So if we turn down the tape knob down, as opposed to up, so it actually sounds like we're getting a bit of distortion. If we turn this knob all the way up, it sort of heightens the effect. If we have this turned down, you don't hear much of anything, and even if we turn this up, the knob has less of an effect on it. So let's turn both of them all the way down, turn up our feedback. That's all the way down, get a cooler sort of sound, turn it all the way up. You can actually hear the distortion on the echoes, and that's applied only to the echoes, which is kind of cool. We can mess around with that. Let's move to our medium time setting. Turn it all the way down. So there's some overlap. This is somewhere inside of the range of our short setting. Let's move it to the middle. So we're starting to get more of that classic delay effect. All right, and turn that all the way up, see how long we get. Check out this analog simulation again. All the way down and all the way up. All right, back to midnight. And let's move to our long setting. I'm going to turn the time all the way down. So yeah, we're seeing again some overlap in the ranges. Turn that to the middle. It's starting to get really long. All right, and all the way up. This is going to be a very, very long delay. I'm just going to show you how long it is. So it's pretty long. On the setting over here, this long setting, if we turn up the feedback, we can sort of make it into a looper almost. It is a very long time, so you may want to mess with the time, but and also because this is an analog delay effect, there's kind of also weird things we can mess with, like you would hear in a lot of noise music, psychedelic delay core type stuff. So now that I have that going, I can move our delay time. We may go really high or really low. We can go really high and start playing over that. Bring down the feedback a little bit. Get really low as well. And while that's going, you can just play something else over it. Now that doesn't make much sense, but it shows you some of the things that you can do with a pedal that has this long of delay and is also pretty much just an analog sounding thing. So thanks for checking out the Flip Tube Echo, and stay tuned for the sound video.